I think, this
Nice.
moment.
Beautiful. I love
Oh,
it.
it looks like we are live.
It just started going live, Amanda. So
Now's my moment. My time to shine.
Exactly.
No pressure.
So good. We got all of our check things resolved beforehand. So Marianne, now people won't laugh at us. They will think that we just knew how all of it worked. You're muted, bud.
I was gonna say we're like super experts at this point.
Exactly. Yes. That's what they'll all think. It'll be great. When we get the recording, I'll trim this middle part out, this beginning. Amanda, do you know, or maybe Kathy might hear and she might jump on too, but wondering if you know these lovely decorations that are hung, and I absolutely love the banner. Do you know any like background of these beautiful
I don't. I'm a
sanctuary?
former member of Pete
Oh, yes.
so I'm just good friends with Kathy, and
I love that. Yes.
I heard about that and wanted to join. So I'm not sure about the decorations, but I'm sure someone from the team could tell us on the Pete side.
They look great.
I know the banner is usually there, the rainbow colored banner in the back, but the rest it appears to be new.
I love it. I really want to join her.
I know. I wish I was
like I should
wearing
be getting up and dancing
a
with
skirt
her.
and jumping around.
Right? It looks great.
Hey, Daddy, can you show your camera real quick so he could see you? And Uncle Ricky, if you could show yourself real quick so Faith can see you.
I was wondering, Brad, if you were working or not.
Look, there's Gene and George. Oh, let's see. Uncle Ricky might be driving and Daddy might be on a call. And maybe Joan, you'll see Joan. Maybe she'll video camera herself off so you can see her. If not, you'll see them tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Do you want a chair too?
It's on YouTube.
She's safe.
People that are on Zoom. She might come in. There are the Duffys. So the Hanley Juniors are coming and Duffys are coming. And Ms. Young said she's going to try to make it. And here comes Pastor. Oh, here's Pastor. All right. Hey, good morning, everyone. We'll have Pastor come up and do an opening prayer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The Lord be with you. Let us pray. Good and gracious and generous God, we thank you so much for your works of wonder in this world, for the gift of generosity and vision, and for your Spirit, which gives these things flesh in our midst. We thank you so much for the partnerships around the world that provide for all who are in need. We thank you especially for Faith and for her generosity and her vision as she raised money for the Well Project. We thank you for those who will benefit from this ministry, for all the hands between here and there who are making this happen. And we thank you and praise you for the generosity of all who donated to this project. Bless this time as we hear the story of your Spirit's work in the world. In Jesus' name.
Marianne, you want to take it from here?
Absolutely. Thank you, Pastor Morris, for that opening prayer. Hello, everyone. Good
Can
morning.
we put her volume through?
Can you hear me
Hold
well?
on 1 second. We're trying to put your
Sure.
volume through the speakers here at church.
Marianne, maybe we can keep chatting so they can know when it works.
If it's working.
Yes.
Yeah, no problem.
Here you guys with my phone.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right, try talking again.
Can you hear me now? Nope. Okay, we can try again and work on the volume.
Kathy, I hear very well from my home.
Thank you. Wonderful. They're trying to get it through the speakers there in the sanctuary, but it is wonderful to hear that you can hear us well from your home as well. Thank you so much for that.
How about now?
Okay, try it again.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes.
I can.
Folks from the church.
We're trying. It's very,
Okay.
very quiet.
I can also try to speak loud. I
Yelling through your mic.
know, yeah, through my mic, and then apologies if you can hear. I
No,
think we
we
have the
can't.
washer, true.
You're good. They're all good.
Hi, can you hear me? Yes. All good?
Probably not yet, since we don't have enthusiastic confirmation.
Confirmation? Anyone? Anyone? Hello, hello.
Just
How
when
about
we
now?
think we've gotten the tech worked out.
No worries.
All good. Hey,
For
that's
the
what
new
we're here for.
adventure.
Yes.
How about now?
I can hear you.
Can you hear?
All right, Kathy said again.
Yes. All good?
But here,
Yes. Okay. All good? Actually, I can see if that was a thumbs up.
Great. Kathy, can we get a hand raise?
Yeah, I saw a
Somebody
thumbs
up
up from
there in that
Kathy.
sanctuary, just to be sure.
What?
Our lovely friend in the pink there in the front, maybe.
Is there a question? What's up?
Tell her to go ahead.
Oh, you could go ahead and start.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much for being here today with us. And thank you, Kathy and Faith, for the invitation. My name is Mary Ann Slowinski. I am the Senior Director for Building Resilient Communities, which is part of the ELCA Service and Justice Unit here in Churchwide, based in Chicago. We are very pleased for the invitation here at Peace Lutheran Church, and we are very happy to share with you the work of the ELCA World Hunger, in which Faith has done a lot of really great work in contributing to our work around the world. And so this morning you will be hearing voices from the field, particularly with our regional representative, Daudi Msima. And we will open up for questions, discussions, and we will also be hearing from Kathy on the journey that both Kathy and Faith went through in raising funds to support clean water access in countries around the world. And so with that, I will start sharing my screen and present and have a very quick PowerPoint presentation for all of you to share. So let me start from the beginning. So every day, agriculture produces an average of about 23.7 million tons of food, and is the largest source of income and jobs for poor rural households. Yet 1 in 3 people around the world doesn't know where their next meal will come from. Early data indicate that the pandemic has driven as many as 20% more of the world's population into food crises, not knowing where their next meal will come from. The effects of the pandemic won't go away for people facing hunger. And by the end of this decade, 30 million people will still be hungry because of the impacts of COVID-19. So anchored by our social statement on sufficient, sustainable livelihood for all, the ELCA World Hunger supports sustainable and durable solutions that get at the root causes of hunger and poverty in the US and around the world. In 2021, through your generous contribution, the ELCA World Hunger raised close to $23 million, where a little more than half of the funds went directly to support programs that focused on food, agriculture, and livelihood. This includes access to clean water for consumption and agriculture. Water is vital to all life. All people need clean, fresh water. It is important for health and hygiene, and just as important in our spiritual life. Our scriptures are full of water stories: Noah and the ark riding out the flood, the Israelites crossing the Red Sea to freedom, John baptizing Jesus, and so on and on. In the United States, water is often easily accessible by just turning on the tap. However, 1 in 6 people in the world has limited access to clean water. In some places like Africa, people, usually women and girls, must walk an average of 3.7 miles every day to get their daily household water needs. They spend hours in water collection that could be spent on growing food, going to school, and taking care of their families. They often bring the water home in 5-gallon jugs, which is about 5 gallons of water, which weighs around 40 pounds. And so here, I would now like to invite Faith to share with us a book about water and how it inspired her to take action. And then afterwards, we'll hear from Kathy about how they raised the funds for the water well.
Oh, are you done? Sorry. Okay. So now we will have Faith read The Water Princess, and this is the book that ended up kind of inspiring her and really connected the dots for her as far as why she ended up picking this project.
The Water Princess.
Hold on.
The Water Princess. I am Princess Gigi. My kingdom, the African sky, so wide and so close, I can almost touch the sharp edges of the stars. I can tame the wild dogs with my song. I can make the tall grass sway when I dance. I can make the wind play hide and seek. But I cannot make the water come closer. I cannot make the water run clearer, no matter what I command. It is early morning, still dark. Mother wakes me. Gigi, my princess, it's time to get up. We must collect the water.
Trying to show everyone the pictures. Okay, they can look later.
Water, come. Do not wake me before even the sun is out of bed. I demand, come, please, I say. But the water won't listen, and I know we'll have to walk so far to the well. I'm too sleepy to put on my crown. I think of the pot that'll rest on my braids instead. Thirst comes quick. Dry lips, dry throat. I squeeze my eyes shut. I see it clear. I dip my toes in it, cool. I scoop it up and bring it to my lips. I slowly open my eyes, nothing. I kick the dust. I grab my empty pot and place it upon my head. My mother does the same, and our journey begins full of song. Mama adds her melody, our steps are light. We twirl and laugh together. The miles give us room to dance. Halfway there, we stop for a moment at the caracoke tree, long enough to grab a handful of sweet nuts for energy. We keep dancing. We get the dance going just a little longer. Mama, are we there yet? Finally, I hear the water running from the well, the giggles of my friends, and chatter of women. Some have traveled farther than I, only to return home when the sun has gone to bed. Mama holds our place while I play with friends, and the dance continues. The water is flowing. Pots filling with a dusty earth-colored liquid. Gigi, come. My turn now. The dance home has slowed to careful step. My thirst so heavy, like the full pot I carry. Our song is softer now. Our shoulders ache, our feet cramp. I see home at last. Mama boils enough water for drinking. We wait. We wash our clothes. We prepare food for cooking. Father comes quick from the fields to share a drink. Turned with the water. Drink, Mama says, finally. Every sip fills me with energy. I want to make it last, but I can't. I gulp it down. Clothes, body, and clean. I sing to the dogs. I dance with the tall grass. I hide from the wind. Mama brings one last cup she has saved just for me. Drink, my princess. Sleep, my princess. Tomorrow we will journey again. Mama, I see as I close my eyes. Why is the water so far? Why is the water not clear? Where is our water? Sleep, she says. Dream, she says. Someday you'll find a way, my princess. Someday. I am Princess Gigi. My kingdom, the African sky, the dusty earth, and someday the flowing, cool, crystal clear water. Someday. That's it.
All right. Okay. More friends. Oh, Miss Young's on. Down at the bottom. Okay. We'll put up the slideshow that we kind of prepared, and I'm not crying, you are crying. Let's just leave it at that. Okay, And look, Beth Piff is up there. So what I did is, while Paul's pulling up, is just put together a quick slideshow, kind of showing people the timeline and everything that Faith did. So we'll head to the first slide. And thank you, Paul, for coming here early on a Saturday to help us. There'd be no Zooming if Paul wasn't here. Yep, next one. So as far as all the details, so Faith has talked often about wanting to, help out and serve. And, she'll often say, I want to do something for the poor. But man, how do you bite that down into chewable pieces for, at that time, a 6-year-old? So she ended up reading The Water Princess at school and told me about it. And then I checked it out from the library and we read it. And back in December, we had scrolled through the ELCA thinking of like a teacher gift instead of a traditional teacher gift. And we gave her teachers like an ELCA gift we had donated on their behalf. And so then after Faith read this Water Princess book, we went back to the ELCA and started scrolling. And of course, she found the Simple Well to the tune of $2,500. That she obviously had no clue of the amount of money that is, but she was hell bent on that is the fundraiser that she wanted to do. And I was not going to tell her no. So as far as how are we going to get there, her suggestion was a lemonade stand in February, outdoors. That was not going to happen. That was a hard pass there. So I realized that Valentine's Day was coming. And so we ran with, we will do this right before Valentine's Day. And then she said, well, we could sell hot chocolate outside in February. Hard pass. So that is when we decided to come up with doing the hot chocolate bombs, hot chocolate mix, and chocolate bars. So Faith made her goal was to try to hit that amount by her brother's birthday. So our first Facebook post that then I got put in Facebook jail for because I tried to message all 300 friends was on February 6th. Theo's birthday was February 23rd. Faith's birthday is February 9th. So we started this, I got put in Facebook jail, and we just hit the ground running. So on the picture of Faith, Paul, can you play that video if it'll play? Okay, I knew that was going to be technology. So that video is just probably the one that everyone saw on Facebook of Faith saying what she was selling and her little plea. And then that was just a quick picture that we mocked up of everything we were going to sell. And then I got locked and put in Facebook jail. So if you didn't get a message from me, you got lucky. So then the next slide is just a picture that we started making the hot chocolate mix since we're going to have to sell these on its own and we needed, oh, is it working now? Okay. So that is Faith and Theo starting to make the hot chocolate mix. And then the next slide is then of Faith working on mixing it up. This was great because it worked on her reading skills, which we thought was good. And then the next slide should be of so much chocolate. I think I should have just bought it by the case at this point. So much chocolate. Faith was really good about not licking her fingers. If anyone bought hot chocolate bombs, don't worry about it. I'm not going to say at the very bottom she didn't get to finish the chocolate, which the kids enjoyed, but just lots of melting of chocolate and making it. And then the next slide is Faith putting in some hot chocolate molds. If anyone wants to make hot chocolate bombs, those are the molds. That's the way to go. Theo, little man, because Faith was in school during this time, I couldn't do it by myself. So Theo was quite the big helper. So also after washing his hands and not putting any marshmallows in his mouth, he would help me then assemble the hot chocolate bombs. So Theo did help out a lot. So this truly became a family mission. And then next we should have a picture of Faith and Theo working on cutting out the labels. There's a picture of Brad because much to Brad's excitement, he got involved in this too. It really took everyone, so it was good helping on her cutting and gluing skills. And then the next one was her, oh, there we go, that is just one of the nights that I stayed up until 2 a.m. putting them all together. So many hot chocolate bombs to decorate. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty sick of hot chocolate bombs by the time I got to that day. So in the end, oh, and then that's Faith tying everything together. So again, this just took over the days. We just hacked this project down little by little. And then the next slide should be, so in total, we sold 91 hot chocolate bombs, 34 hot chocolate mixes, and 171 chocolate bars. That I promise, I did not eat all of them. I really did sell them. So then, let's see if the next slide. So I don't know if that one on the right will play. It's a video. Let's see if it'll work. Okay. So the picture on the left, I ended up making like a little well that she colored in each, every few days as we hit her mark. And then the video on the right is her filling up the well and realizing that she met her goal. And then of course, her being my daughter's next sentences after she hit the top was, well, did we go over? And yes, she did go over. So we met the goal on February 17th. So again, we started this on February 6th. She met the goal February 17th. Within the first 7, oh, is it going to play? I don't know if we'll be able to hear it. That's her excitement if I met my goal. Yes, yes. And then after she fills in that line, she quickly looks and says, did we pass it? And there's her saying, did we pass it? And I'm telling her to fill it up all the way to the top. So within about 7 days, we actually had enough orders that she met her goal. I didn't close it until I had cash in hand. And then the money just kept on going and donations kept coming in. Oh, that's her excitement of meeting the goal. There we go. So then the next slide. So the total amount we raised was almost $3,000. So a special thanks also to Thrivent Financial. They gave us some of the money for this supplies that I used for the chocolate bars that we sold. And then we used it also to buy some of the mix that we made from scratch. So a huge thank you to everyone who supported Faith. The $445 over that we raised, Theo got to pick what he wanted it to go to because he really was such a helper. Theo, do you want to come over here and say into the microphone what you put the money towards?
No.
Okay, so he wanted it to go to honeybees. So through the ELCA, there are a lot of ways to donate. And so we donated a honeybee with a farm. So we were able to donate 2 of those, and I don't know where they'll be, but we were able to put that money over to donate that since Theo was such a great helper. So we had, again, over 91 people donate. We did have a few anonymous donations too. So it was probably closer to 100. So thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you, Paul, for coming in early. Thank you everyone on Zoom for zooming in as well. And I think we now have the questions that Faith wanted to ask.
Thank you so much. Let's just kind of give both Faith and Kathy a round of applause here. I mean, snaps, applause, folks can go off some video. Thank you so much. That was really, really amazing. Before we go to the question and answer, I do wanted to share a field report from Tanzania where we can share a specific example of where Faith's contribution has helped us in our mission in ensuring clean water access for all. So I'm going to share my screen one more time. And so we will now hear a field report from Shaddai Msima on an example of what it means to have access to water in a community in rural Tanzania.
My name is Shadai. My dad works from ELCA, and today we're in Moshi, Tanzania, and today we're here to see the water project. The water comes from the ground, gets pumped up to the tank, where it's stored. We're at a center for young adults who are differently able, and one of the things that they learn here is how to take care of chickens. Some students' families don't believe they can do anything because of their disabilities, but we believe that they can. Here they use drip irrigation and learn how to take care of the garden. So here they grow Chinese, and here they grow chicha. At the center, they want their students to be independent, to stand up for themselves. And to do that, they have to learn how to take care of themselves. And one example of doing that is washing dishes. This is Shiley. She's one of the people who work here.
I'm Shiley. I'm working with young adults. We have 20 children. We teach them how to use garden, how to use the water, to water in the garden, to take care of their chicken, and washing the dishes, and cleaning the places here. And all things here we use water, so we need a lot of water. And we teach them how to do all these things because we want them to be independently.
Bye, everyone.
That's great. And so now I'm going to ask Faith to read off the 4 questions that she has prepared. And then in response, we'll have the regional representative for Eastern Africa, Daudi Msima, who is Shadai's father, who has prepared a response. He's currently in transit back to Tanzania from a field visit in South Sudan. So he expresses his apologies for not being able to join us. So Faith, would you like to go ahead and share your questions, please? Then I will play the response from Daudi.
Do you want her to go say all 4 of them or just one at a time?
All 4, if possible, please. Thank you.
1. Where is the water well built, and how are the people using them? 2. How do we know that the water is safe? 3. In the Water Princess book, I was sad to learn that some girls couldn't go to school because they had to walk to get water. Did the water pump help girls stay in school? 4. Are the people happy to have the water nearby?
Let's see what he said.
Thank you, Faith.
Good at being still.
Is it loading for you, Marianne?
It's playing. Is
On
it
the
not playing?
browser? Oh, it's not playing for us.
Okay.
I think you may need to share your full screen. You may only just have the PowerPoint shared. We are not able to see the screen where the video is playing or hear it.
Yep, that's a good point. I'm going to do that now. Screen 2. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna restart then.
Hi, I'm Daudi Msema. I serve as ELCA East Africa Regional Representative. I live in Arusha, Tanzania with my family, and I'm here to answer a few questions. Let me get the first question. Okay, where is the well built and how are the people using it? Okay, the water project is at the foot of Mount Kilimanjaro on the edge of a town called Moshi. It's a beautiful place, it's hilly, there are lots of banana trees. Most of the people who live there are farmers and other people work in town. The project is at a center for youth with disabilities. It's called Building a Caring Community, or BCC. It's owned by the Northern Diocese of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in Tanzania, and it was started a few years ago by these Lutheran pastors who saw the unmet needs of disabled youth in their community. So they got together and they did something about it. It grew and grew, and now they have 8 drop-in centers that are kind of like schools where youth go to learn skills to help them live and to thrive. Of course, they use the water for drinking and sharing with neighbors, but water makes many things possible. Think about it. Gardening with drip irrigation, taking care of chickens, washing dishes, mopping and doing cleanliness. All of these are skills that will help these youth to live in their families and communities, and possibly even get jobs when they get older. As a church, we want to always live like Jesus. He loved people who others in society looked down on or had given up on. So let me tell you, we feel so good about how this water project supports disabled youth who are so often excluded from their families and communities. Okay, that was a great question. Question number 2. How do we know that the water is safe? The water source is a deep well a little ways up the mountain. And boreholes of more than 400 feet in this area are usually safe. The government tests water sources for minerals like fluoride, metals like iron, and organic matter like bacteria. But in some other places, people rely on surface water for their water needs. And surface water needs to be filtered or boiled to be safe. In those places, people often have problems of waterborne diseases that are caused when water is unsafe. And these things, they're especially harmful to young children. Waterborne diseases are one of the top causes of death for children under 5 in Tanzania. But the water in this project is good. It's filtered through more than 400 feet of volcanic rocks. So the center and the neighbors, they're enjoying clean, safe water. Question number 3. Just a minute. Okay, question number 3. In the Water Princess book, I was so sad to learn that some girls couldn't go to school because they had to walk to get water. Did the water project help girls to stay in school? Access to safe water is something that keeps so many girls out of school in this continent. Many of our cultures, they think of fetching water as it's work for women and girls. So the issue of water affects girls much more. I visited a village where girls and women had to wait in line for 4 to 8 hours to get their water jugs filled. So many of them would decide to go in the middle of the night when the wait would only be 3 or 4 hours. Sometimes they have to walk so far to get water because the nearest water source is really far. This particular water project is different since it's supporting centers for disabled youth instead of being for an entire village. But the project is indeed making it possible for the boys and girls who are students there to attend and to learn. And it's supporting the neighborhood too. Okay, question number 4, the last question. Are people happy to have water nearby? Are people happy to have water nearby? Of course, people are so happy. About 2 miles from this water project, there's a roundabout, or a traffic circle in town. In the center of the roundabout, there's this big sculpture with the words above it that say, Maji ni uhai. In Swahili, it means water is life. People don't take water for granted. It's something that's celebrated. Okay, thanks for listening. Peace.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Faith, for those questions. I now open the floor for other questions that folks might have both at the church or on Zoom. Or Kathy, if Faith has any follow-up questions or things like that, we are now opening it up for conversation.
And just so everyone knows, we already had a Zoom meeting to talk about this, but what he had talked about was not the well that Faith funded. It's just an example of what the funds go towards. And so what her specific funds were going to go towards is, I think they had 3 different locations that were in need, in the process of just going through and deciding where exactly her funds will go. That's still in the discussion part, but what he presented on weren't her funds, but just an example of how they can make an impact on the communities.
Yes, absolutely.
I have a question.
Oh, hold on. Oh yeah, she was going to have me relay it. Okay. So the question was, can we just fund part of a well? And then once you finally hit that amount, like if you get a part of a donation, and then once you finally hit that amount, will they then, have all that money to go towards a new well?
Right, that's a really good question. So what we normally do is, as you see, we do get contributions from many individual donors all around the country. And so what happens is every year our fundraisers would set up a goal of how much funds do they believe they'll be able to raise. And then from there, we're able to figure out, okay, where are the priorities for each project in order for us to do the work. So because many of our contributions is really built along trust, knowing that the contribution that we're giving to the ELCA World Hunger will be used on sustainable development work all around the world, we do have that freedom to be able to invest in many of the work around the world that doesn't have to be designated, so to speak, or earmarked for that specific reason. And so any and all contribution that you make, you are actually able to say that, yes, this you can claim, so to speak, that your contribution did go towards access to clean water, because there are just other generous contributions that we receive every year.
Yeah. And then I know what we did for Faith is you could go on the ELCA, let's say Peace Lutheran Church would want to say, okay, in the next 6 months or before Rally Day, let's try to fund another one. The ELCA, you can go on their website and set up almost like a registry, I'd say. I think some people donated directly online. Some people gave us the money where you could just donate directly. So I had Faith's simple well set to go until March 20th, which we obviously didn't need. But I think through the ELCA's website, you could do that, set up a page and then collect donations over amount of time and see if you could hit your goal at that point within that time, right? Or did they change that?
That's correct.
You are correct, yes. And if anyone has any questions about that, you're always willing and able to contact us at ELCA World Hunger. Our email address is hunger@elca.org. My name is Angela, and I answer all those emails, and I can assist you through that process of setting that up as well. And if you call us, you will reach me as well, so you'll get us either way.
Good question. Any other questions or any Zoom questions? I don't know if people put anything in the chat.
Faith, what was your favorite part of this project?
Favorite part? Here, hold on. The project was.
Getting the money and fundraising it.
Did you also like making everything and then at the end having to like taste, test, and sample everything?
Yes.
Good question. Thanks, Jean.
Kathy, can you hear me?
Yes.
About how many different people are required to construct one of these wells, and are they mainly local people?
Yes, so it depends on the type of well that is required. It really varies on what the community's assets are. So in this example, because there is source for water from the mountains, the technology that's needed to required to build the pump and the knowledge required to build the pump is really more localized, and they're able to procure the necessary items to build the infrastructure and be able to maintain it without having to import anything. One of the things that I'm really, really proud of working with ELCA and World Hunger is that we never kind of put together programs that are clearly brought in from other countries. A lot of these needs to be locally sourced. And known on how it's done, using either traditional methods or methods that was learned in the local, in either the villages or the urban areas. And so as far as construction work is, a lot of them are also done locally within the villages, within the people, and they're also trained up. Usually they would have what they called water communities, where there's going to be like a shared responsibility in maintaining sources of water. And sometimes because they know that the access is free, they still need to make sure that there's an appropriate way to maintain it and the cost associated to that. So sometimes they would put in very minimal amount of money to create that savings account, so that when repairs and maintenance are done, they can just use their community, the water community setup to be able to withdraw funds and maintain the systems, so they can last a longer time. So those are the things that we usually make sure in these villages when they do start investing in these water sources and water access, finding ways that communities are continue to contribute towards that, to keep it last longer than to make them last longer.
About how many countries across the world is the
ELCA
building these in?
Well, one of the things that we want to make sure is that these are all community led. We don't kind of like go into a community and say, you guys need water, here's how we're going to do it, right? So a lot of these is through our first and foremost relationship with companion churches, other Lutheran churches around the world. And they have their own diaconia ministry in which they work in the community in trying to assess what are the most urgent needs. And a lot of them are rural farmers, a lot of them are in rural villages. And so more often than not, water does come up as a need. And so right now we do have a lot of them in the Central African region, Tanzania, India, Papua New Guinea, and Malawi. So those are the ones in which community has expressed interest in putting together water source and water access. But we never tell people that, you community, you need to have access to water. Sometimes it needs to come from them, and they're the one who kind of expresses that need. And we accompany them and we walk alongside them to ensure that we provide the needed support for them to either have clean access to water or provide services around gender justice, climate change adaptation, agricultural inputs, etc.
Hey, Faith.
Thank you for the question.
I wanted to ask you, Faith, do you think you're going to do this again when you grow up, when you get bigger?
Yes.
Good. Good for you.
Sonia, Marianne and I think that she's coming for our jobs in the future.
Yeah, I
and
think so too.
We love that. We would
so
love to
too.
have her with us in the future in whatever capacity she would like to do.
I want to get her ready.
Sandy, what was your question? Oh, how about Theo? Theo, do you want to do something like this? He's speechless. Sonia, I'll come knock on your door and remind you of that wonderful question you just said when she wants to do it again.
You do that.
Anyone else have any other questions?
Yes, were many of Faith's classmates helpers in this project, in the fundraising project?
That is a great question. I did approach the principal and the teacher about if I could present this at the school, and they said I was unable to. So I did reach out to some of her immediate classmates that she does play dates with, or if I knew their parents, and they were excited. Some of our neighbors had donated. So we did get some involvement through her classmates and everything, but it was just that with COVID and not being able to go into schools or talk, it was hard to kind of know, did people get the emails? Did they read the emails? Because I didn't hear back. Any other questions?
And something, Joan, that I can add too is when we were planning this time for today, when Marianne and I were first talking with Kathy and with Dowdy, we were wondering if we wanted this time to be here with the congregation and with you all, or if we wanted it to also, or instead of, be with Faith's school and Faith's class. And so we were using both of those ideas to come into this, and knowing that the congregation and that all of you family members and friends were so deeply involved with this, we went with this side of the congregation, but also hope that since it is being recorded, there is the opportunity for this to be shared with Faith's class if they want it and if they're willing and able to have that, and that we at ELCA World Hunger are also more than happy and ready and willing to do something with Faith's class as well as this time here today.
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say how proud I am of you, Faith, for doing this. As someone that works in global development, it was really, really exciting to see that you were doing this. And I mean, I remember holding you as a baby. So, and so it's just really exciting for me to see you growing up to be excited about this. And I hope to continue to do anything I can to support you to be a global citizen.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. In our final 10 minutes or so, I would like to invite Kathy to kind of just share with us some of these key lessons learned and encouragement on the ways that we can encourage our own family members and children to be engaged with the ELCA World Hunger and you know, the activities that's involved in you know, the easiness and the challenges, of course, of raising funds. So Kathy.
Thank you. Yeah, one of our goals with doing this was to be able to kind of, I hope would be to encourage families to talk to your children and or maybe it's a book, but pick a goal, and maybe it's a child who does it, or maybe it's a family who does it. But let them be involved. I mean, she was 6 when she decided to do this, and she, of course, we helped her, but she did so much of it. And it doesn't have to be this big of a project. Do local things like Joni's Closet here in Lake Zurich gives to the underdeveloped or under, what's the politically correct term I'm looking for? Anybody want to help me out? Just for the families locally that are in need. So you could do something like that. I mean, with the summer, the kids were talking about doing a lemonade stand, which is now going to be okay because it's summertime. But do you do a lemonade stand? Do you do a cookie? You know, do you do a bake sale? But just encouraging young families that this is something that can be done. And just think if every family just tries to raise $100 and put that $100 towards a good cause, what a difference in this world we can make. And especially right now with so much pain. going on if we all just kind of set a little goal as a family to raise money and donate, the difference that that could make. So I would encourage everyone to have that discussion with their family and see if it's something that you guys could pick a cause you're passionate about and try to work towards. That's all I had.
Absolutely, and thank you. And so Angela also shared the link to our website on where to donate, and I'm just going to show real quick. Like this is the site that Faith and Kathy were talking about. It's on the ELCA Good Gifts catalog, and there's that simple water well and the amount. And here are the kind of the options on how to raise this, as a family. But it can just be one of anything, it could be the honeybees, just like Theo wanted to do, or other items, pigs, goats, cows, whatever that gets kids excited and really engaged in just a really fun family activity. So thank you again so much, Kathy. And with that, I don't know, Angela, if there's any final words regarding information and access to the ELCA World Hunger.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks, Marianne. I'm Angela Galbraith, and I am the ELCA World Hunger Grants and Reporting Coordinator. And as I said earlier, if you call us at ELCA World Hunger or email us at ELCA World Hunger, you will get me. And so I would be excited to chat with you about any of these things we talked about today, or if, just as Marianne was saying, if you go on our website for ELCA Good Gifts, and if you're wondering what you would like to do with your family or what you would like to do with yourself, and if you want to know more about any of those options, you can call and we can chat and we can talk about that together as well. And so we are always here to assist you through that process of fundraising and setting that up if you would like, but also just talking more about what we do at ELCA World Hunger and who our partners are all across the world, in the United States and globally. We are here to chat more with you about that via phone or email anytime as well. And I just want to echo Marianne and Kathy and everyone from, I would say, Kathy and Faith and Theo and Brad, make sure that you get to see this chat today, that you're able to save that hopefully and see the praise and gratitude that people are sending for you all to be a part of this with you. And I just want to say from us at ELCA World Hunger, we are so grateful to partner with you in this, and that we have people in very close to us there in Chicago, but also all around the world who are passionate about this work with us and who are already doing it alongside us. And so we are so grateful to be working alongside you in this work in our world. And just as Kathy said, with so much hurt and so much pain and brokenness that we see in our world, we love getting to do this every day with you. And so in whatever way that you would like to be a part of that work, we are here to partner with you as well.
Thank you. And with that, we have Faith and Kathy to have the final word of appreciation.
Well, thank you. I was hoping Pastor Daniel would hop back in here, but I don't think he's going to. He's busy with confirmand. So, well, real quick, Faith had gotten this book. If anyone or everyone wants to sign it, and if anyone's going to be in church tomorrow, I will bring it tomorrow. Or if you aren't local and you just want to email me something, and I'll just cut it out and tape it in here. But just, whatever you want to leave a message for Faith. Whether you were so proud of her or just something she did that impressed you. And this is something that Faith will then be able to carry with her and have as a memory of how at the age of 6, she was able to make a difference in this world. So we'll have that. But just another huge thanks, everyone who donated, everyone who came, everyone who zoomed in, Paul with the technology, all of our friends and family that were able to rally around and help. And those people who even shared the link without me asking, we really appreciate it. And we were able to make a huge difference because all of you guys. Do you want to say anything, Faith?
Thank you.
Anyone have any other words to share?
That's it. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. And thank you again so much, Kathy. Thank you, Faith. Thank you, Theo. And we'll see you for sure sometime soon.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. And Faith did make a drawing of everyone who was here in case you needed to know where you were sitting. Carrie, that's your sister. Okay.